Candi Sewu, Prambanan's forgotten neighbor. The well-traveled among us would probably recognize that Borobudur, near Yogyakarta, Indonesia, is the world's biggest Buddhist temple complex. They may not realize that the second largest one, Candi Sewu, is also within spitting distance of the city's airport. Best of all, it's a mere 15-minute stroll from Prambanan. You can visit both on the same admission ticket. Even though Prambanan is a Hindu site, Sewu has stood alongside it for hundreds of years. Rival worshippers didn't rip each other's sanctuaries apart, thankfully. Instead, earthquakes and souvenir hunters were what reduced both sites to rubble, before UNESCO elevated Prambanan to the status of a World Heritage Site. Despite its proximity to such a storied Indonesian attraction, Sewu sees far fewer visitors. It's not terribly pretty to look at from most angles, and there aren't any ballet performances in front of it, but it's no less significant in the local culture than its famous neighbor, Candi Sewu. Local legend links Sewu with Prambanan and the nearby volcanic crater lake. It also explains how Candi Sewu, which translates as 1,000 temples in Javanese, got its name even though the site features only 249 shrines. While the lore ignores the fact that Sewu predates both Borobudur and Prambanan by a few decades, who doesn't love a good story? There were once two neighboring empires in Java. Bondowoso, a prince from Penang, was smitten with Loro Jonggrang, a princess of the Boko Empire. After conquering Boko, the prince asked for Loro Jonggrang's hand in marriage. There was a problem, though. He had killed her father in battle. She thus set the insistent prince two conditions: build a well, the crater lake summer Jalatunda, and 1,000 temples in one night. Prince Bondan finished the well easily using his supernatural abilities. Goodness knows why he had more difficulty escaping the well after Loro Jonggrang buried him alive in it. Any other man would have been deterred from marrying her at this point, but the prince proceeded to start work on the temples. He summoned an army of demons, which swiftly finished 999 of them. As they worked on the last temple, the princess's handmaids lit a fire in the east and started their morning ritual of pounding rice. This caused the roosters to crow, tricking the demons into fleeing before they completed their work. In fury, our love-struck prince cursed the princess, turning her into stone. She was placed inside the last temple, the Shiva Tower at Prambanan, where visitors continue to admire her today as the sculpture of Durga slaying the bull demon. Visiting the site. Now that I've exhausted the information that you can find on Wikipedia, here's what it's like to visit Sewu. Typically, one would walk to Sewu from the south after exploring Prambanan, and returning the sarong that the groundskeepers make foreigners wear. The path takes people past two other Buddhist ruins, Candi Sewu and Lambang. It then follows the western side of the fence that surrounds the Sewu compound. The site looks a right mess after what earthquakes and 19th century village builders have done to it. They didn't dare to approach the place before the European colonialists broke the taboo. Decapitated Buddha sculptures sit exposed to the elements while their heads decorate manors around the world. It took decades to restore the main shrine that towers over the rubble. If it wasn't a sin to do so, I would have summoned Prince Bondan's demons to help out. Candi Sewu. However, many of the structures have been rebuilt on the eastern side. A gap in the gate lets visitors walk through the ancient courtyard, passing one layer of shrines after another. It's like Borobudur, but without the steep steps or the reliefs. Bell-shaped steeples of various sizes top each tower. The lack of bas-reliefs at the site means that one won't be spending hours reading into miles of friezes. The main sanctuary at the center of the complex consists of 4 rooms surrounding a central hall at each cardinal point. Every room probably once contained a sculpture of the Bodhisattva, enlightened beings who delay nirvana to help other people. All of them are now empty. I was glad for that, however. There were a few wasps hovering around the entrances. I'm not going to pretend that missing out on Sewu will break your visit to Yogyakarta. It won't. However, since it costs nothing extra to see it, other than a few calories round the walk, it's worth the look, especially as it's aesthetically different from Prambanan and Borobudur, and less crowded to boot. While you're at it, see the other ancient Buddhist shrines around Borobudur, Mendut and Pawan. Getting there. Bus 1A gets you to Prambanan from the Adijusapto airport in about 20 minutes, 3,000 rupiah. From the bus stop, follow the main road east to get to the entrance. Admission costs 220,000 rupiah for foreigners. If you just arrived or are about to catch a flight, you can leave your luggage at the bag drop. After exploring the Prambanan complex, go to the exit on the north side and follow the signs to Sewu. Give yourself 3 hours to explore both sites. Yogyakarta always has a special spot in travelers' heart. The extraordinary Javanese culture, historical building, and the locals are the main reason. Surrounded by the active volcano, strong wave ocean to their ancient sites. Explore the entire ancient temples scattered in the city. Make sure to add Sewu Temple on the goal list. Discover the story behind the center of Buddhist civilization. Sewu Temple is the second largest Buddhist temple complex in Indonesia. For the history lover, make sure to spare a day or two. There is a lot of myth and legend covered behind every temple in Indonesia. One includes what the visitor will find in the magnificent Sewu Temple. The initiation of Sewu Temple. The relics and inscription found in Sewu reveal some indisputable facts. That the constructions of the temple began in the 8th century, during the reign of King Mataram. The king Rakai Panangkran was a Hindu prince. The initiation of Sewu Temple is interesting coming from a prince with a different religious background. People believe that the marriage between the king Rakai to a Buddhist princess Prambanan was the initiation of Sewu Temple. The architectural and huge scale of Sewu Temple reveals how the temple was important back then. Particularly since for some reason Sewu Temple location coincidentally close to Prambanan Temple. The original name of Sewu Temple presumably was Manjusrigrha or the House of Manjusrigrha. From the original name of the temple, many experts presume the temple once was a Buddhist monastery. Manjusri in Sanskrit means an individual that dedicated their life to Buddhist practice. Both inscriptions found from 782 AD and 792 AD confirm the initial name of Sewu Temple. The evidence found draws a conclusion between archaeology experts on what was the temple functions. Sewu once also was the royal Buddhist temple. It was once a religious site, a place where royals performed a religious ceremonial. Temple that is also homes for people learning Buddhist, university for people seeks enlightenment, and home for Buddhist people practicing religious ceremonies back then. The main temple is guarded by 2 small temples, Bupra and Gana Temple located in the east and south side facing the prominent temple. Sewu Temple is the largest Buddhist complex in Prambanan Temple area. The architectural design of Sewu Temple is rectangular with 4 entrances. The main entrance located on the east side of the temple complex. The stone guards. Each entrance is guarded by the giant twin Varapula statues. The statues with its cyber weapon are the common element in Hindu and Buddhist culture. Varapula statues in Sewu Temple area believed were the watchmen. Make sure to notice the twin Varapula statues before entering Sewu Temple. The Varapula reaches 2.3 meters with one knee bent and the other kneeling. The main temple. The main entrance of the main temple is located on the east side. Even if there are 3 additional doors facing the north, south, and west, the chamber inside the main temple once holds Buddha statues. Sewu Temple, which built before Prambanan and Borobudur Temple, often missed by visitors, mainly since visitor is not aware that there are other temples in Prambanan complex. The distance from Prambanan Temple is not really far, but since most visitor faces the hot temperature, exploring and discover what essence Sewu Temple sometime not the option. There are 249 temples before the earthquake hits the temple in 2006. Most of the small temple ruins scatter all over the area, letting the main temple stand tall companionless. But the restoration work still continues until now. Tourist toward the once used to be a magnificent center of Buddhist culture. Even if the restoration works still continue until now, visitor is allowed to explore the entire temple. The impressively carved stone and fewer tourist hordes are suitable for visitor looking for a tranquil moment. The big trees shading the temple complex is a perfect spot for eating lunch, pack a sandwich and enjoy the volcanic scenery around the temple. Sewu Temple entrance fee. Since the location of the temple is in the same complex of Prambanan Temple, there is no additional fee to enter Sewu Temple. A day pass to Prambanan does include entrance to the splendid temple. Visitor with young kids or senior visitor can easily hop onto a golf car. Visitor will be charged a small fee for circling the huge temple complex by a golf car. The car will make stops to Sewu Gate and allow visitor to explore the temple, and bring visitor back to the exit gate of Prambanan Temple. There is also a bicycle rent beside the golf car counter. For a guest who needs more flexibility exploring Sewu, renting a bicycle will be the best option. Guideline and tips to visit Sewu Temple. Sewu Temple is a sacred place for Buddhist people. Visitor is expected to dress and speaks properly during their visit to the temple. Get to Prambanan first, continue to Sewu and head directly to Ratu Boko Temple to see the magnificent sunset. A day itinerary is enough to cover the 3 entire temple, as the location of the temple itself is not really far from each other. Always pack a liter of water, as the visitor will be facing a hot temperature. Sewu Temple address and location. Sewu located in the same location of Prambanan Temple, Juku Bener Village, Bagaisan, Prambanan District.